What's up? It's Joe Ready from Rady's Rise. We're back here at Jaguar Land Rover St. Petersburg, and guess what? I have a truck that's actually hard to come by. It's this monster right here. This is it. This is a 2025 GMC Sierra 3500 HD Denali Ultimate. It's a mouthful, but before we get into this monster size super truck, let's talk about what's going on here. So when you look at truck sizes and you think of Sierra, it starts off with the 1500, then you go 2500, and usually that's what you would find inventory wise at a GMC dealership. Now with this being a 3500, it takes it up to the next level, and then on top of that you have not only the luxury trim, the Denali, but you also have the Ultimate. So I would really love if there's any statisticians out there or mathematicians or people that just like to research, I would be curious, what is the actual percentage when you look at all their 2025 Sierras that they built, how many are one of these? It can't be much, but one thing is certain, GMC is that professional grade. I know they like to use that in their commercials and advertising, but it truly is that professional grade of truck because it separates itself so well from its sister brand, the Chevrolet Silverado. But what I want to find out is, if you're looking for the ultimate of trucks, do you go with this Denali Ultimate 3500 HD? Let's go ahead, let's dive into ours and find out. It seems like every single GMC truck is either white or black. That's what I come by a lot of the time, and this one is no different. The good news is it's a pearlescent white, so it really sparkles nicely like a diamond and kind of fits the attitude of this being that luxury extreme truck. Now at the front of the business, I love the way they reshaped the headlight housing, LED daytime running lamps, LED double stacked headlights. Everything on the interior is blacked out. Of course, our daytime running lamp is also our turn signal. You got your HD embossed in the dark trim, and then working our way down, a little bit more dark trim, and you have your LED headlights. Well, you do have LED headlights, but you have LED fog lamps. Now on the corner, you'll notice that 3500 badge of our metal painted bumper. So not a plastic bumper, this is a metal bumper with that pearlescent white. But let me know what you think about the look. I really think it's a nice balance of modern and toughness when I look at a GMC, especially one this big. Now, as we come across the grille, when you go Ultimate on any trim, you're always getting, or I should say any model, you're always getting this unique grille. So instead of shiny chrome, it's a dark black chrome finish. I even like the way they do a smoky gray on the GMC badge instead of the traditional red. General Motors Truck Company, forward-facing camera with a washer, fully functional, and then of course working our way down some of that gloss black, the painted pearlescent white, and then you have those polished toe recovery hooks on both sides. Another thing that's great is how they sculpt the bottom portion underneath that lower bumper. But let me know what you think about the face of this truck compared to an F350 Super Duty or a Silverado 3500 from Chevrolet. This really checks off the boxes, or even a Ram 3500 HD. I still think that this one does it so differently, especially with it being an Ultimate trim. Now, as we take the elevator ride up, you are gonna have your functional hood scoop. I am gonna zonk this piece. They should have made this dark chrome to match the grille, but the good news is this hood scoop is functional. Love the big bulge. And then the crisp lines. I mean, look at it. It's almost like channels in a water vein when you're looking at the style. It's just really muscular, but modern. I like the way they blend that too. Now, when you come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire setup. So you're gonna get these Denali specific wheels, machined aluminum with the gloss black accents. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size of this wheel? It's a 20-inch wheel. Tires are 275 on the width, 65 series sidewall. And then you'll notice that we have that familiar shape of the fender openings. GMC actually does, instead of doing round, you'll notice how they do that almost like trapezoid squared off design. Another thing I like on this Denali Ultimate, the tops of the fenders are painted almost all the way around except for this part here. I wish they would have painted that. So I'm just gonna give it a half a zonk, maybe a quarter zonk. But this should have been painted as well. But I like the 3500 badge. And then of course you got plenty of area for wheel travel. And even on the side here with our side marker light, it's got the GMC name. Nice little touch there. Look at the badge. The badge says it all, and you could believe the badge. Ultimate, Allison 10-speed, and that's that Duramax Turbo Diesel. We got our power folding side mirrors. Another area, why didn't they use the dark chrome? Why are they doing shiny chrome? No, 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 don't do that. That's a zonk. Use the dark chrome. Turn signals, 360-degree cameras. Of course, they extend for when you're trailering. And from the side of this truck, it makes me look like I'm about 3 feet tall because this is really a monster truck. We got our Denali HD badge. Would have been nice to have it in the dark chrome. Same thing with the door handles. Dark chrome would have been my choice. And around the side glass on our doors. But I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. I've already given it zonk, so we're not gonna zonk each individual portion. You do have your automatic dropping running boards, always like that touch. And then they're gonna pull right back up with a little bit of that shiny chrome finish. I mean, the good news is from the side, all the shiny chrome matches. So that's the good news. Working our way towards the rear, like I said, even the way they designed their cab, the back of the cab, that's all GMC specific. You do have your side step to get into the bed of this truck. And then working our way towards the rear, you'll notice our suspension, the Rancho shock absorbers, our box frame. Of course, you have that nice big bed, and then spinning around the back, just like we started up front, they finish it off really well. The LED lighting, all reshaped for this generation because there was a refresh. You got your GMC name and that smoky gray, the Denali name, and the Sierra name. And then working our way down the ground level, you do have your corner step. So if you got a clown shoe, a work boot, maybe some slip-ons or something, you got plenty of room to step to get into the bed. And then look at how high they actually have that rear tire mounted. Gives you lots of ground clearance. You got your full tow receiver hookup, that large diesel exhaust. You could fit a freaking Florida orange in there and then launch it out and kill somebody with it. Hopefully it's somebody that you want to kill. Now, tailgate wise, you got that flexible system where you can bring down just the top part. You can bring up this part, you can push it back down. I could bring down the whole bed, or I should say not the whole bed, the whole tailgate, duh. And we could even do our step. So we hit this, and we got our nice little step action going on. You do have your full bed liner. Of course, we have those all-weather floor mats. You can see them right in the bed of this truck. And we even have our handle. So you're good to go here. We got all of our accessories where you could plug in. And on this side, we do have, of course, a home power source and LED bed lighting on both sides. So that's really nice. And then to top it off, to let you know this is ultimate, you got the kicker sound system built into the flex tailgate. This is where you could plug in and play your tunes right off of your phone, maybe your iPod, maybe you got an iPod Nano. Steven still has his iPod, his original. That's when he was on MySpace. Tom was his best friend. And then we put it all back together. Boom. Let's go ahead though. Let's pop the hood and check out that Duramax Turbo Diesel engine. All right guys, we got that massive hood popped. Underneath the hood is that Duramax Turbo Diesel engine. So what do we got going on? It's a 6.6 liter turbo diesel, 470 horsepower, 975 pound-feet of stump pulling torque. It's made it to an Allison 10-speed automatic transmission. Believe it or not, 0 to 60 in this thing in 6.5 seconds. That's pretty crazy because it does weigh 7,534 pounds. When properly equipped, you could tow up to 36,000 pounds, but with a conventional trailering setup, you're looking at 20,000 pounds. Payload capacity is 5,121 pounds. It does have a 342 gearing on the rear axle, and of course, a 2-speed transfer case for that 4x4. But like I said, when it comes to that high-end truck that you want the luxury, but you also want all the other features, that Duramax definitely brings it. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire it up and hear all those diesel sounds. All right, guys, we are inside this 2025 GMC Sierra 3500 HD Denali Ultimate. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, being an Ultimate, this truck must be over $100,000. Well, good news is, asking price for this one is an MSRP of $89,000. But let's see what GMC brings when you go to Ultimate. To the door panels. Love the soft touch material, the real open pore wood, and then the two-tone with the baseball glove brownish tan. You got your crisscross applesauce contrast stitching. You have piping. I even love the way they do the topography map in the material. We got the Bose premium sound system and a door pocket large enough to where you could go to Chili's and get a whole rack of, I want my baby back ribs in there, and a large Coca-Cola. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, that leather style material, the piping, even the way they do this aluminum style trim looks great. You got your topography map there. And if you're wondering what are those GPS coordinates to, it's actually the coordinates to Mount Denali. Open this up, you can put your baker's dozen of Twinkies in there, 13 Twinkies. More stitching, more piping. You got your banana hammock. So if you're not wearing yours, you can put your banana in there. And then slide on in, you got that great size infotainment system, 12.3 inch, full touchscreen, obviously. Cameras out the yin yang. And when I say the yin yang, I'm talking about the yin yang. They're freaking everywhere, and the resolution is super clear. Look at that, you can see the all-weather floor mats back there. And then we're right back almost where we started. Let me show you the rest of the apps. You go into your climate, you got Amazon Alexa, you got it all. And we got our Google Maps. Real volume knob, that's your start-stop button, nice bright silver. Dual climate control, heated seats, ventilated seats. All your AC controls are actual real buttons, thank the Lord. You got your exhaust brake, you could drop your rear tailgate, hill descent control, and then here's an area where you could put, I would say, 4 Costco hot dogs, USB-A, USB-C, a place for a Granny Smith apple, 2 cup holders. There's your GMC professional grade key fob with remote start, wireless charging, that leather perforations, that Ultimate badge, lift it up, USB-C, USB-A, a home power source. Love the way they have this nice organizer, because this is where you could put, you know, a couple game controllers for your NES and the actual NES system in there, and probably about 8 games. I miss my NES. I remember I sold it at a garage sale for like $20. What in the hell was I thinking? Seats, leather, piping, Ultimate badge, topography map, stitching, full power assist for the passenger, full power assist for the driver, of course. And up top, you got all that beautiful Alcantara. But the big zonk is regular size sunroof. Huh? Where's my panoramic sunroof? But I guess they want you to forget about that by having massage seats. So they do have massage seats up front. Let me know if you're really missing the panoramic sunroof. But why don't you get your butt over here? I want to show you behind the wheel in this big bad truck. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have 2 memory seat settings, And then of course, what I love about GMCs is how you have your 4x4 system, your different drive modes, everything is up nice and high and separated from the center console. Down below, the sill plate with the Ultimate badge and Mount Denali coordinates. And then of course, all those seat controls, including the massage seats. Seats are great. I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of room in here. Steering wheel, nice leather, the aluminum accents, the Denali badge, flat black on the switchgear. What's a shocker is this is a manual tilting and telescoping wheel. Huh? On an Ultimate? That's a zonk. You do have your column shifter for that Allison 10-speed. It would have been nice if they wrapped some leather around here rather than just the plastic. And then you got that 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. All the information, and then of course, you go into the different modes. There's just a couple, which is nice, normal and off-road. There's no sport. You're not gonna go race your 3500 anywhere. I promise you that. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in the back seat, because I'm gonna take you for a spin in this monster truck. All right guys, back seat time, and then boy oh boy, you're gonna spoil the heck out of your passengers. The leather, the topography map, the pockets that you have. This is where you could put, you know, your Game Boy, your Atari handheld, even though I'm not a big fan, I know Steven is, the Twitch, or whatever it's called. What the hell is it called? The Switch? That tells you how much of a fan I am. I'm not a fan of Twitch, watching Twitch, streaming, or the Switch. I'm more old school. That's just me. You do have your command center here with 2 cup holders, 3 stages of heated seats, AC vents the size of a postage stamp, USB-C, USB-A, plenty of room for feeling good. And then, nice leather, the 2 cup holders, all the great stitching. But why don't we go ahead, if you're ready, I'm ready. Get your Twitch, your Stitch, and your Witch, you thought I was gonna say it, and let's go for a spin in this big truck. All right, guys, we're inside this 2025 Sierra 3500 HD Denali Ultimate, and right away, this is one of the best truck interiors. Now, Ram does an amazing job, but I just like the way that this one is organized. The separate 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster from the infotainment system, and having all real knobs and buttons is the way I like to operate, especially when it comes to AC control, heated seats, ventilated seats. Perfect visibility out the windshield. You got a head-up display that's more than 13 inches in size. We got our digital rear view mirror, and just a big truck that's easy to control. And I like that about this 3500 HD. Now, of course, you're sitting in all this leather and wood and technology. You still got all that great towing, 20,000 pounds worth of towing with a conventional tow setup. And then you got a really amazing payload capacity as well. The 10-speed is paired nicely with the Duramax Turbo Diesel engine. And then, of course, the drivability. This is really what makes this truck a standout, is that it's actually very, very easy to drive. On throttle, here we go. So you're not gonna win any races at the drag strip, but you do have plenty of get up and go to get this big truck moving. And the interior is just, it's really nice and rock solid. The sound deadening material is great, even with those billboard style trailering, towing mirrors, still very nice and quiet in here. And you can just see like the way the truck handles. Love the shifts from the Allison 10-speed. And this is the kind of stuff that just reminds me why I like GMC trucks so much. The fit, the finish, the materials, and it's not too overly done. But let me know in the comment section if not having a panoramic sunroof is a big issue for you. It is surprising, especially on a truck of this caliber. But as you can see on the brakes, you don't get nosedive. I'm not swaying all over the place. Let's go on throttle from a dead stop. You ready? On throttle, here we go. Love that diesel sound. And just that big, huge aircraft carrier style hood, it just gives you good visual reference points when you're driving this thing, and especially when you're trying to park it somewhere. But one of those trucks that literally checks off all the boxes. Every box is checked off with this thing, except the panoramic sunroof. But like I said, when it comes to handling and braking, it's amazing just how stable the truck is. And that's what inspires the confidence to drive this thing. Plus the fact that you got all the safety features, nice size mirrors, everything really makes sense in here. But I'm hoping that this has been a good overall review of this 2025 GMC Sierra 3500 HD Denali Ultimate. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I will see you in a split second. All right, guys, another great day, another hot day. Definitely another sweaty day here at Jaguar Land Rover St. Pete. We definitely got to thank Meryl and the rest of the team getting us access to this 2025 GMC, say it with me, Sierra 3500 HD Denali Ultimate. Now it's your turn. Let me know what you think. Is this the king of the super trucks? Let me know in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rides family. Got to give out to Stephen Flood. He's wearing his armbands, he's doing his thing, and he's feeling good. So thank you, Stephen, for bringing all the surprises and all the hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.